Hey everybody, it's Armageddon time, and with me is...
NecroVMX.
Hey now! And we are here with the List Critics!
Coming at ya.
The place where explosions go is right here.
Motherfucker! And we curse, too. Not a lot, but we do.
And there's chainsaws and titties, but not at the same place, because that would be bad. But you know...
All right, we got some user submitted lists. The first
I'm
one's
looking forward to that.
the first one's from this guy, Craidgeef, I think his name is. Yeah, it's Craidgeef.
Oh, okay.
You know, like from I Wanna Be the Guy?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
getting that vibe.
Very strange list here, but he made a top 7 list. So it's top 7 series that he'd like to see crossover, like Capcom versus.
Oh, okay. That might be
so
interesting.
it is interesting. I don't know. So, like the very first one's just okay. There's a lot of weird ones on here. Just looking at it, it's strange. So number 7 would be Capcom versus the Cartoon Network.
Oh, like they have those Cartoon Network games where all the characters are together and they just use those characters.
I don't know. I guess
That would be kind of strange.
he talks about like Johnny Bravo and Samurai Jack and all that shit, but I don't
SpongeBob.
I don't think that fits into well with Hadouken.
Maybe it's the weird dichotomy of like, adorableness with, fighting that would be a strange mix.
Yeah. I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 characters that could work, but I mean, there's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you make oh God, I can't even think of what's on Cartoon Network these days. But I don't know how you can make
I
those
just named a few.
characters.
I just named a few. You got Johnny Bravo. You got Samurai Jack. You got Billy and Mandy.
Well, I could see those two working though.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not enough characters to hold.
No, you'd have to dig deep to get the good ones.
It's not worth it. Number 6, Capcom versus, I guess, just generic anime. And this is
Versus
sad.
anime.
This is sad. Yeah, this is really sad. The 2 that he includes as examples are Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, and then he puts a note in there, those are the only animes I know.
Oh, my dear Craig, we have to teach you some lessons.
Well, maybe you can. I don't even like anime.
Yeah, I know
But
it's not really your bag. But
if you're going to be into anime or whatever, it's like, I don't know. It's like if you decided you were going to start eating pizza and then you only eat Pizza Hut.
or just pepperoni.
Wow. I mean, just start at the bottom of the barrel, why don't you? Or you're going to listen to heavy metal, but you're only going to listen to Slipknot, It's just very strange. And I mean, and if you're... I get the feeling that he's not into anime if those are the only 2 that he knows about. Why would you put it on the list?
I guess they would make good fighting characters. That's what I assume. That you can pull a lot from anime.
Well, okay, I'm going to point something out here. Okay? It's already been done. Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have
so
that on the Wii actually, and I still enjoy playing it.
It's already been done, so that's sort of... It shouldn't even be on the list at all. All right, I'm just going to...
A little late to the game, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Number 5 is Tecmo, like Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, Fatal Frame, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I could see Dead or Alive is boring, but I mean, if Capcom was making it, it's kind of like, Street Fighter cross Tekken. Like, Tekken is boring and a terrible series, and it's just worthless, but Capcom's making it, so it's probably going to be good,
Capcom could make the characters enjoyable and worth playing, tweak them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the gameplay is where it's at. I mean, in a fighting game, the most important thing is the gameplay, and Tekken doesn't have it, you know what I mean? Neither does Dead or Alive. But
Yeah, and
If
well,
Capcom was
Dead or
making
Alive,
it,
yeah.
I would definitely check out a Capcom versus Dead or Alive. Number four,
It'd
Nintendo.
definitely be worth a look.
Nintendo.
Well,
I guess
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, but that's sort of a very different style of fighting game from the Capcom stuff. I'm
Yeah,
not
it
sold
isn't
on
as traditional.
I'm not sold on Mario duking it out with like like Ryu or whatever.
Or
I'm just not
Blanca.
sold on that. Yeah, Blanca versus Luigi. Yeah, because they're both green. Derf, derf.
Yeah, yeah.
Number three is Mortal Kombat. You kind of see that one coming. I mean, everybody wants a
Yeah,
Street
Mortal
Fighter
Kombat
versus
versus
Mortal
Street
Kombat.
Fighter.
Ed Boon very much wants to do it. The makers of Street Fighter are not so thrilled about the idea.
They're
But
doing their own thing.
yeah, well, no, it's not that. They know it would be, something amazing, and then it would make a lot of money and everything. But then, like, are you really going to have the Street Fighter characters getting their heads ripped off?
Oh, so like it's another or DC versus
Yeah, I mean,
Mortal Kombat thing?
and that was a damn good game. But then the fans are like, it's not bloody enough. My butt hurts. So, what can I say? I think if you do Mortal
Oh, they
Kombat
should wash
versus
their
Street
butts.
Fighter, yeah, well, I agree. Number two, and this is an interesting one. He puts Square Enix in there. Okay, now this is interesting. He lists a bunch of series: Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, and then he lists two that have nothing to do with Square Enix. He has Breath of Fire, Breath of Fire is made by Capcom, and then he
Capcom,
has.
strictly. Well,
I mean, yeah, they translated the first one, but that was like, way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. You know what I mean?
and since it's made by Capcom, you could include it in the list.
As a matter of fact,
Capcom, versus...
there's been a whole thing where, I guess Star Ocean is Square. Yeah, that was Enix. They haven't made a new Star Ocean in so
Yeah.
long. I've always thought that they should include Breath of Fire characters in the Capcom fighting games, and I heard that they were going to include Fo Lu from Breath of Fire 4 in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but they were shot down by the higher-ups at Capcom, who said that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was made specifically to be a very Western game. They wanted it to appeal to Americans, and Breath of Fire 4 being a very Japanese game, especially Fo Lu was a very Japanese character, so they got shot down. Of course, they'll put, Rocket Raccoon in there, but...
Yeah, how bizarre, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. And number one is
That's
Konami.
strange.
Number one's
Ooh.
Konami. You could include Castlevania, Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Contra, Suikoden, YY World. Out of all of those, I actually think the Suikoden characters would fit in the best. Because Suikoden, right? Suikoden...
That's like... yeah, how do you pronounce that?
I think
Suikoden?
it's... I've been saying it wrong. It's Suikoden. Suikoden actually looks already like a Capcom game, so... I think...
Yeah,
and
so
plus,
it could fit
there's
into the
hundreds
world
of
quite
characters.
nicely.
There's hundreds of characters to choose from, too. I mean, Castlevania, they've done a
Yeah,
fighting game.
of course, you'd pick the first couple.
Yeah, Castlevania, they've already done a fighting game. I don't know about Silent Hill
Judgment.
or Metal Gear or Contra. I mean, Silent Hill's a survival horror game. Like, Metal Gear, I mean, what is he going to whip out a gun?
Well, Snake was in Smash Brothers, and he seemed to... It was a weird fit, but it kind of worked.
Yeah, but that's Smash Brothers. You know what I mean?
But it shows that those characters could be put maybe in a fighting game world.
Yeah, but that's...
It'd be kind of
but
weird,
like I said,
but...
that's the same reason why Nintendo didn't fit.
But it's kind of
You know
like,
what I mean?
they have Resident Evil characters in the Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't. I mean, Resident Evil's more action based than Silent Hill is.
Yeah, I guess Silent Hill is more walking around in a foggy town.
Exactly, and Contra is just like the action is there, but it's like it doesn't have the memorable characters. It's like, okay, we're gonna play as the guy and the guy with no shirt.
Yeah,
You
guy
know,
with bandana, guy without.
Exactly. Or if you're gonna do like Contra 3, the white guy and the black guy. I'm sure they have. I think the
Yeah.
main character from Contra, his name is Bill or something. But I don't know. Okay, so on a scale
Yeah,
from one to
something like
seven, I wasn't impressed by this list. I mean, really, I mean, you had one that's already been done. Really, there's only two on here I agree with, and he has them at
hmm
number 3 and number 5. So I'm going to be very unkind. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 7.
Oh, I'm going to be a little kinder just because some of the matches made me, think of the possibilities. I'm going to go three. Still not very
3.
good,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
3
like,
out of
some of
7.
the ideas. I thought the list was going to be more like this versus that, not just Marvel or Capcom versus
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. That would, yeah,
Like
exactly.
Disney versus Warner Brothers.
That would be Marvel versus DC, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, Marvel
Yeah,
versus DC. Just do all
because
the big
Disney
names
owns
clashing.
yeah, Disney owns Marvel and Warner Brothers owns DC. All right, the second submitted list is from it's from Roy's Story, and this is just about the weirdest idea for a list I've ever heard.
I love this already.
It's the top 10 walrus characters in video games. So let me ask you a question real quick before we start. Any specific walrus you expect to see on this list?
The only one that immediately popped in my head
I
was
know,
that
well, I know
walrus. No,
I know what's
that
gonna pop in
walrus
your head.
boss from what the hell is that game? The Magical Adventure starring Mickey Mouse.
That's what you think of
That's
when
the
you think
pull that
walrus?
I immediately got in my brain.
You don't think of like I would have thought you would have went for Link's Awakening.
Oh, that freaking bulbous. I never used the walrus really.
You don't use him. You got to get him out of the way. You
Oh
gotta
yeah,
you got to bring Marin.
I was thinking. Shit, never mind.
You're thinking like Oracle of Ages or something.
The
Where you can ride
Oracle
around.
games when you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
when
Like
you can ride
kangaroos and
around on
shit.
those things.
Now, all right,
Yeah.
let's get through this. Let's get through this quickly because this is just ridiculous. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you can hear me, right? My internet is fucking out, but apparently you can still hear me, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 10, the top 10 walruses in video games. Number 10 is Walrein from Pokemon. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Walrein? I guess it's a walrus Pokemon.
Well, good for that Pokemon. I'm sure it's very
well-
walrusy wherever it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was number 9. I'm all fucked out here. Number 10 was that, and this is exactly the way he writes it. That walrus boss from The Little Mermaid on NES.
Come on, no magical quest love. Maybe it's
Okay,
later on.
wow, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't see it on here. Okay, then the Pokemon.
Uh,
Number 8 is the walrus enemy from Goonies 2. I don't even remember that.
Goonies are good enough.
Yeah. Number 7 is the walrus. This is so specific. The walrus on the balloon from New Zealand Story. Which,
I never
probably-
played a
Ki-
New Zealand
Kiwi
story. Is
Craze.
that Kiwi Craze?
Kiwi Craze is, yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Then we have the Mecha
I never
Walrus
really
from
played it.
we have the Mecha Walrus from Darius Twin. Well, okay, sure.
Is that a shooter?
Yeah, Darius was it was a shoot 'em up where all the ships were shaped like fish and like sea life. Had really good music too.
Oh, okay. Oh,
There were a
cool.
lot of Darius games. I have one of them on the Saturn, Darius Gaiden. It's really good. Number 5 is the Walrus Villagers in Secret of Mana. Were there
Never really
walrus
got through that,
villagers?
so I don't know.
And me neither. Number 4, the Lazy Walrus from Link's Awakening. Of course.
Oh, there you go.
Number 3, Frost Walrus from Mega Man X4. That's not
Oh,
a
why didn't I
surprise.
think of that?
That's like the first thing I thought of. I thought you would have went for Link's Awakening first. And number 2, the walrus that shoots ice from the Kirby games. And number 1,
Oh,
Bluey the walrus from Diddy Kong Racing. These are his favorite
forgot there was
walruses.
a walrus.
Yeah, well, I forget half the characters from Diddy Kong Racing, to be honest. I know
other
it's like,
than
okay,
Diddy
there's
Kong?
Diddy, there's Banjo, there's Conker, and then like some other guy, and then something, and then I don't know.
The ones that didn't have spin-off games.
Exactly, yeah. It's hard to rate a list like this. It really is.
I
But
gotta give him
you know
kudos though
what?
for a very strange
I'm
list.
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give him a 10 because he sure knows his walruses. I couldn't even name 10 walruses, so I'm gonna give him a 10. What do you
I
say?
gotta give him a 10 too for
Yeah.
pulling 10 different walruses out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, just for knowing. So
That made my
you know, he thought we were gonna rip his list apart probably, but we got two tens, perfect
it was
scores.
it was nice.
It was amusing, you know. It was amusing,
Yeah.
and I couldn't think of 10 walruses. I mean, I never even heard of some of these characters. So, okay, this next, okay, now we get to the real lists. Not that any of it, not that this is such thing as fake lists, but you get my point.
Yeah,
But
of course.
these are all user submitted lists to GameFAQs.com. I went through them. We're doing all GameFAQs today. So this is a list from Alex Sanctuary Remix Hall. Was posted in April 26th of this year. This is the top 10 video games to feature Batman.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, I've seen the list obviously because I'm looking straight at it, but what would you say is the number one on here? Just a guess for the top Batman game.
I'd say maybe Arkham Asylum. Pretty freaking good, you ask me.
That would be my pick, yeah, easily. Number 10, and this is an amusing pick. He puts Revenge of Shinobi on the Genesis. There was, of course, an unlicensed Batman cameo in there. As a matter of fact,
Really?
He was a boss, and I think that they changed it to Spider-Man later on. Like,
No way.
yeah,
You
there were a
could play
bunch of
against
crazy
Batman?
No, you couldn't play. No, Batman was a boss. There was Batman. There was
That's what I
Spider-Man. I
said.
think
Against.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you. The Terminator was in there. There was Godzilla. But that was all in the Japanese version. When they brought it to America, they kind of replaced them with characters that kind of look similar, but you know what I mean? So there
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
The Man Bat.
Num No, there's a DC character called Man Bat. You can't use that either.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Number 9 is Batman Vengeance on the PlayStation 2. I haven't played this one, so I can't comment on it.
I know what the box art looks like. Just rather normal,
I
just
have
Batman
it.
kind of looking at you
I
like,
have
play
it.
my game, motherfucker.
Yeah, play me game because I'm fucking Batman, dick shit. No, I have the game for GameCube. I just never have actually played it. I think I played the one that's a side scroller on Game Boy Advance or something. Like it's the same title, but it's a side scroller. Because I did the Batman feature on my channel, and I'm pretty sure I played
Yeah.
a game called Batman Vengeance on Game Boy Color. So, I don't know. I can't comment too much on that. Moving on, number 8 is Batman
Moving
Begins,
along.
also on the PlayStation 2.
I never really played this one either. I don't know why. I mean, I love the
Me
movie.
neither. And once again, I have played the Game Boy Advance one, but not the actual, the main game. So there you go.
Do you remember what the Game Boy Advance one was like?
It was good.
All
It
right.
was good. Yeah. Had very good graphics. Number 7 is The Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Genesis. That was a great game.
Yeah, I remember I had a lot of fun playing the Riddler's level. Like the
I
maze.
think Maze. No. Are you thinking of the Super NES one?
Oh,
Because it's a
I
completely
might be.
different game.
Yeah, I might.
No, they're two different games. The one on the Genesis, and I was just about to comment on this, was more of a shooter, and
Really?
it had that great multiplayer mode. You had one person as Batman, the other as Robin, and there were lots of different powers. The only thing is, it was very hard. Unless it was definitely designed to be played with two people simultaneously.
Huh.
The thing about it was honestly, it's a good game. I have no problem with it, but it doesn't really do much with the license because you could replace Batman with any character in that.
Huh. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of the Super Nintendo one. I never really played the Genesis one, thinking it was the
Completely
same,
different
right?
game. No, completely different game.
Oh,
And number 6 is The Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Super
ooh,
NES.
yeah, I really liked it.
That was a good game.
Yeah,
That was a good game. Um,
good animation
number
on it.
f- oh, absolutely. Number 5, we have Lego Batman, the video game. He listed for PlayStation 3, but I'm pretty sure it's on like every console.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Uh,
It's a good
I
game.
only hear
All
good
those
things
Lego
about the
games are
Lego
pretty
games.
much,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
yeah,
If you've played Lego Star Wars or Lego Indiana Jones or any of those, you know the deal.
they're fun.
But yeah. Number 4 is Batman Returns on Super NES, a great beat 'em up. It's mindless, but it is fun.
Yeah, I remember playing this. Like, I went and saw the movie, and then I'm like, I want to rent the game, and I was quite pleased with it.
Game was better than the movie. Number 3, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. We were just talking about that. And of course, you could play as Batman, who, all the DC characters in that were basically Mortal Kombat characters that they just, they played like other Mortal Kombat characters.
They swapped out. Who was Batman
Yeah,
like?
he kind of played like Tanya.
Oh, okay.
Because the batarangs were kind of like her boom, or I guess you could say Jade also, because Jade has the boomerang moves. But yeah, he definitely played like that kind of character.
All right.
Like Green Lantern plays like Ermac. I mean, there's a lot of like similarities.
No wonder you like Green Lantern even more than you already did.
Yeah, well, because he plays like one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters too. Number 2, okay, you got to be kidding me. Number 2 is Batman: Arkham Asylum.
I think I know what number one's going to be.
Yeah, I know what number 1 is, and I'm not pleased.
But yeah, Arkham Asylum.
Number 1, okay, number 1 is Batman on the NES. Yes,
Yeah, I
it's a
knew
good
it would
game.
be on there.
Yes, it's a good game. It's a great game. Yes, it has great music. It's a lot of fun.
Hard as
It
balls.
also has nothing to do with Batman. You could take any character and put them in there. It could be anything. Whereas Arkham Asylum really used the license.
You kind of felt
made you feel
kind
like,
of feel like Batman a bit.
absolutely, absolutely. Have you beaten that yet, by the way?
No, I've been kind of
Do you ever finish any games that you start?
no, not until many years later, like Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, wow, that's right.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay. Let's not. We already have an hour of you ranting about it while drunk.
Anyway,
Okay, I'm going to give this an 8. It's a good list. I disagree with the order of the top 2, but there's nothing that I feel is missing, so I'm going to give it an 8.
I kind of like it too. There was a lot of ones I wouldn't have thought of, like just off the top of my head. So I think I might.
The thing is that, a lot of the Batman games are pretty bad too, so he did pick the good ones.
Which, few and far between. So I'm going to give it a 9 in that case.
Oh, okay.
Almost
there we
perfect, but that
Not quite.
switch around 1 and 2, and then you might have me sold.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, the next list we have is from Terrarius. It was posted on 420.
420,
Smoke
man.
'em if you got 'em. Yeah, man. It's top 10 games that need a re-release or remake. So he's looking for these games to either be re-released or remade somehow.
As if we need more of those, but all right.
Well, I mean, I assume that these are games that haven't been re-released or remade.
All right.
That are okay. Number 10. Okay, so this is interesting. Number 10 is Sim Ant for PC.
Huh.
That was an interesting kind of quirky game. Never came to any console. I think that Sim Ant has its place. I think that would be an interesting.
I could see it as a
Actually, wait. I'm sorry. I do think it came to Super NES, but it was like a shitty version of it. And like what you said, yeah, downloadable, like maybe like 3DSe store or something.
Yeah.
That could work. Number 9 is Stunt Race FX on the Super NES. I don't agree with that.
I remember renting it and being like, okay, so it's not quite like Star Fox, but yeah.
Well, obviously not. It's a racing game. Yeah. See, now, I think that basically the draw of Stunt Race FX was the technology.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're going to do something like this, like, okay, he points out that, the cars had, like, they were kind of anthropomorphic and they had eyes and, like, he compares it to the movie Cars. And, well, I'm sure there's video games based on cars. Why don't you just consider that your remake?
Of course, they've had Cars and a Cars 2 already game.
Yeah, yeah. Number 8, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on the NES.
Oh, HD remix, that'd be great.
You know what though? I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, it's a good game, but that's not a license that you're gonna see anytime soon.
Yeah, Capcom and Disney, they had their moment in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. We barely got Capcom and Marvel back together. Now you're gonna get them with. Well, actually, if they have a, Marvel does own.
Disney owns
Marvel's
Marvel.
owned by Disney, yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe there isn't in there. But I mean, the Chip and Dale thing is kind of like that. That's kind of a relic of the '90s, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, what kid maybe has a PlayStation 3 today is going to go, Chip and Dale, what the heck is this?
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Well, I mean, he also says re-releases, so maybe this is something that could hit the virtual console.
Yeah, good point.
So yeah. So that is a good idea then. Number 7 is Demon's Crest on the Super NES.
I liked that game, but man, I could not beat it to save my life.
That's a hard game. I've never beaten it myself. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that that's not like on the virtual console or something. Capcom, get with it.
Yeah, make another Ghosts and Goblin, whatever you call that side story, Gargoyle's Quest game.
There you go. Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Battletoads. Well, I mean, you're not going to see a re-release of Battletoads, I don't think.
Oh, don't make it as hard as the NES version.
Because, I mean, maybe you might see the arcade one re-released on, like, Xbox Live Arcade.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
But the NES one, you're never going to see that again.
No, and I mean...
It was made by Rare. It was on a Nintendo console. Forget it, Just forget it.
I mean, who owns the license now, technically? Does anybody?
I think Rare does, but I don't think that they couldn't put it on, like, the virtual console.
No.
Because, I mean, they're owned by a company that would not allow that,
Yes.
Microsoft would not be too pleased with that. Number 5, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding? Secret of Evermore.
Oh, the American-produced sequel to Secret of Mana.
It's not a sequel to Secret of Mana. It's got nothing to do with Secret of Mana.
Spiritual sequel to Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana wasn't even that good. And then this one just sucked.
I just couldn't get into Secret of Mana, and I saw Secret of Evermore, and like, oh, another one of those. Eh.
Yeah. Number 4 is Evo, Search for Eden on the Super NES. Don't think I've played that one. I mean, maybe I've done a video or something.
I've watched somebody play through it, and it's an interesting concept. You can level or evolve yourself into different creatures throughout time as it progresses. So you can evolve one way, evolve another way. I can see potential for that in today's...
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3 is Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis. I like that's classic virtual console thing right there. That needs to be on the virtual console.
Isn't there a better version of that game, or what's the one that has?
No, you're thinking of Castlevania: The Adventure on Game Boy.
But wasn't there one that was like Genesis was the bad version? Or no, the one on Super Nintendo. There was a sequel.
Oh, Dracula X is what you're thinking.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but Dracula X is on Virtual Console and it's on PSP, and you know what I mean. And that's been remade.
Oh, Bloodlines is the one where you can play as the guy with the spear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. That was fun.
Bloodlines was kind of a sequel to the book Dracula.
Oh.
Because the guy with the whip is John Morris. He was the son of Quincy Morris from the book.
Wow.
And then his son Jonathan Morris was the character from Portrait of Ruin.
No way! I never really put that together.
Yeah, Portrait of Ruin is a follow-up to Bloodlines. If you liked Bloodlines, you should definitely play Portrait of Ruin.
Oh yeah, I played it, beat it, loved it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And you didn't realize it was a sequel to...
No, I never really
talked
played
about
through,
the characters.
Bloodlines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you never played Bloodlines. Okay. Number 2, Earthbound.
Oh.
I expected to see that on the list.
You got
what's funny is I was
sick of hearing about that game.
I'm so sick of hearing about it. You know, I was playing Breath of Death 7 earlier.
Yeah.
And there's a town called Motherbound. There's a lot of like references to other games in it. You know, as a matter of fact, like the super secret boss is a dragon that looks like a duck. the duck dragon from like Adventure.
Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
This freaking duck away from me.
It's the Homestar Runner.
Yeah.
But Earthbound, yeah, there's a Motherbound was the name of the town, and they say like the first person you talk to says some snide comment like, "We really don't let people in here. I guess it would be not profitable to let people in here," or something like that. It was stupid. But I had a chuckle. All right, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X.
Oh.
Didn't that get re-released on? Wasn't that in like Sonic Gems Collection or something?
I have Sonic Gems Collection, but no Knuckles Chaotix.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they just had the fighting game,
you know
Sonic CD.
Actually, you're right. And I remember reading an interview with some idiot from Sega, and this person was really a retarded idiot. Because somebody asked like, why wasn't Knuckles Chaotix in the Sonic Gems Collection? I remember this now, and he said that. Well, that wouldn't really fit because it controlled with a trackball, and I'm like, no, it doesn't.
They're thinking of
and then
Sega
I realized,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I'm like, he's thinking of Sega Sonic. He's not, like, what are you talking about? No, you moron. You stupid. Stop being stupid, you stupid moron.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think of the list? I'm going to let you take first crack at this.
Let's see. Some strange ones on there. I don't know. I thought it was a lot of them could be considered and possibly profitable. I'd go with 6 out of 10, I'd say.
I'm going to give it a 5. I would be more kind, but having Earthbound and Secret of Evermore on there is big strike. Big strike.
I wouldn't mind seeing an Earthbound sequel, but I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, they made a sequel. We just never was released here. But he's talking about like making Earthbound again.
Re-release, right? Thank you.
Yeah, whatever. I fucking can't stand that game. I'm so sick of hearing about it. People talking about it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Fuck you. And moving on.
I just love hearing you bitch about
it. Okay, now this is a list from what's the guy's name? Tercel. This was posted back in March. It's top 10 RPGs that contributed to the genre.
Like maybe revolutionized RPG in the truest sense.
Or I think that something that introduced something that became like something that was become like a trope. You know what I mean?
Like an ATB system and that kind of thing.
Yeah. What would you expect to see on here? What would you expect to be number 1?
Number 1, oh god, I don't know, maybe Dragon Warrior for like almost inventing it in some sense.
Dragon Quest,
or Dragon Quest, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at it. Number 10 is The Elder Scrolls 3: Morrowind. Well, I mean,
what did it bring to the game that the previous?
This is what he said. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He says Morrowind is on the top 10 list for popularizing personal mods in RPG games. Okay, that is true. So that is something that Morrowind brought to the table that games previous to that have not done.
Your Morrowind, did you mod it at all?
I modded the hell out of it. Because the big thing was the graphics. The character models were terrible. Like, Morrowind had really good graphics except for the characters, and there's, like, a lot of people who have made it's like there's a mod called Better Bodies, and also I added a lot of atmospheric things, and a few to make it harder.
Wow, making the game harder for yourself. That's a hardcore Morrowind player right there.
Well, it's easy. Morrowind is ridiculous. If you know how to play it, it's way too easy.
Oh, okay.
So I put in a mod that added, like, a lot of different enemies to it, kind of mixed things up. Number 9 is Rogue for the Commodore 64, going really far back. That is the first dungeon crawler. I don't know if you'd call it an RPG, though.
Yeah, dungeon crawler. I wouldn't really
and RPG.
That's like saying Diablo
things.
is an RPG, Or...
Yeah, like Diablo would be the modern. To be fair, though, if you're going to include them as RPGs, you definitely, started things off. I just don't think that it's an RPG.
Maybe this person was trying to find like the proto RPG of sorts, and well, I don't know. I never really played Rogue, so I'm just gonna take your word for it.
You could say that. Yeah. Number 8 is Shin Megami Tensei on the NES.
Never really played any of the Mega 10 series myself, but I only hear good things from the crazy fans.
Well, the original Shin Megami Tensei was almost like a spiritual predecessor to Pokemon in a lot of ways.
Oh, you collect monsters?
You collected things, yeah, and also it had a lot of themes that were like serious themes that you wouldn't see until like later. Like there were religious themes and stuff like that that you wouldn't see in games on the end, which is why it never came to America.
Oh yeah.
So it was sort of like the first adult RPG in that sense that it was.
Maybe that's what what it brought to the table.
Yeah, mature storytelling, you know. Number 7, Final Fantasy VII. Of course, you know, it's obvious what this one brought to the table. It
polygons.
No, not polygons. It legitimized RPGs in America and brought them into the mainstream.
Yeah, they weren't just for kids anymore, kind of thing.
So, well, no, it's not that it wasn't just for kids. It was that it wasn't just for nerds.
Yeah, but like they changed the marketing for 7. It was crazy.
Well, it's not that you see, it's interesting that you say that. It's not that they changed the marketing. It's that they had marketing. What RPG could you think of that had any kind of marketing campaign before that? I mean, other than Zelda.
Yeah, that's action RPG and
yeah.
Zelda already has a name, you know.
It's easier to sell an action RPG too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like, you know, like the Halo of RPGs. Like it may not have been an amazing game, but it brought the genre to the forefront.
It brought it to light to more people.
Exactly. Number 6 is Wizardry for the PC. Now, personally, okay, you know, Wizardry is weird. It's sort of a dungeon crawler, but it's also it uses rules from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
So I think you can consider an RPG in this case. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, Wizardry wasn't that good.
So how did it play? Like, what did it look like? I'm not familiar with the Wizardry game.
You know, like kind of an earlier version of Ultima.
Oh man, the Ultima series. I wonder if that'll be on there at all.
Probably. Like if you imagine the first Ultima, just like imagine it being even more primitive than that.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I guess Wizardry, it was one of the first RPGs that was that had a party in it. That it wasn't a solo adventure.
Oh, so it was a ragtag group trying to save the world.
Yeah, well, or trying to, you know, crawl dungeons.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Number 5 is Baldur's Gate for PC.
Never really played Baldur's Gate either, unfortunately.
Well, what they're saying is true. He says it brought light into the previously dying CRPG genre. You know, and it did that before Morrowind.
CRPG?
That, you know, CRPG, well, C is like for computer, like the Western RPGs.
Oh, okay.
That's like your Elder Scrolls and your Fallouts and your Dragon Age and that kind of stuff. Whereas a JRPG would be like your Final Fantasy.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Number 4 is Dragon Quest.
Oh, okay.
I knew that had to be on there.
I would have guessed it was number 1, but I don't know. It might not be my number 1, but all right. I can see it's
the first JRPG to be released and extensively commercialized in the United States. That's true. They gave away copies with Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power, yeah.
Yeah, get the power. Nintendo Power.
I would die from slimes early on.
Really? Come on. You don't even need a weapon to kill slimes.
I was a little kid. I didn't understand. I'm like, why can't I just jump on the enemies, you know?
Number 3 is Final Fantasy for the NES.
I'm trying to think. What did Final Fantasy do different than Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest?
It stopped Square from going into business.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the final one.
Yeah, well, that's why it was called Final Fantasy. They thought it was going to be the last game that they made. But no, I mean, who was the biggest maker of RPGs? Square Enix. you look at Square. Okay, Enix has always done fine. They're they're the only company in the history of Japan to remain profitable for like 25 years straight without ever losing money.
And that Dragon Quest can really sell them.
Yeah, and they don't spend a whole lot of money. And then you had Square, who was languishing in obscurity, and all of a sudden they came out with Final Fantasy, and it was this huge hit. You know, now they're the same company. Number 2, Ultima for PC.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. That.
I tried the first one. I didn't get it. So
well, it's pretty obtuse, but it's fun. There was that weird part where you had to like go into space and shoot shit in space. I don't know what the hell that was all about. But
yeah, like I was a little kid, and I was still like RPGs. What? So
I was a big fan of 3 and 4, which were also on the NES. Those are great.
Yeah,
especially 4. 4 was awesome.
I saw those that they were available for NES, but I reminded myself of the first one. And was like, I don't understand it. Waste of my time. Where's
4
DuckTales?
For the NES was awesome. You should check it out one day.
Yeah.
And number 1, I don't really understand why this is number 1. I understand why it's on the list, but I don't understand why it's number 1. Number 1 is Fallout.
The first Fallout?
Yeah.
That's an RPG? The first one?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that was...
they're all RPGs, I mean.
Oh, I can't remember the genre. I know it was an isometric one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what he's saying, the importance of moral decisions, multiple endings, total freedom, customizable characters. And I agree it has a place on the list, but I don't agree it's number 1.
Like, I watched...
As a matter of fact, I would put Dragon Quest at number 1.
Ah, so at least we're in agreement there. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I could see Fallout on the list, but maybe maybe like a little further down.
Yeah, absolutely it belongs on the list. It was a very, very big game. It did a lot of things first.
Yeah, because I'd watch my friends.
I think that the guy. I think the guy just is I think he's just a huge fan of Fallout, and that's like, painting his. He's not being objective, I don't think.
But he was nice enough to include all these other games. It wasn't like Fallout 3, Fallout 2, Fallout 1, Fallout New Vegas.
Well, you know what? I agree with everything on the list, except for possibly Rogue.
Rogue? I'm not too familiar with
I would take Rogue off because it's not really an RPG, and I would maybe put something on there like Legend of Zelda, But that being said, good list. I'm going to give it a 9.
I think I'm going to be right there with you, a 9. Like,
I'm being more kind than I should be, considering I don't agree with number 1. But
replace Fallout, just move things around.
Just shuffle it. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's very insightful the way that it's written. He makes good points, and his writing. I'm not going to read out every fucking thing because there's 3 paragraphs for each one. But even I was skeptical about some of them, and then I read it, and okay, now I understand. So he explains everything really well.
Yeah, it isn't just putting a top 10 list with no description.
Yeah. Now, I think you're going to like this next one. I like this next one. I like the concept of it. I haven't really looked at what's on here, but I can see the first 3 here. But it's okay. Let me scroll down here. It's from Twilight Leviathan, and it was posted back in March. It's top 10 games that are completely overshadowed by their sequels.
Ooh, I like that concept.
Yes, it is a good concept.
People tend to forget about the first ones.
What would you think would be on here?
Oh, God.
Just one example.
Nothing's coming right to my brain immediately. I hate being put on the spot.
You know what immediately pops in my brain is Mega Man.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Mega Man pops in my head right away. Nobody talks about Mega Man 1.
I tend to talk about it from time to time. Remember points?
Yeah, but... Number 10, we have Final Fantasy Adventure, also known as Seiken Densetsu, also known as Mystic Quest Legend. It's got a lot of names.
Huh. I never really played the Final Fantasy Adventure series.
You played Secret of Mana.
Oh, that was the third one.
It's the second one. That's the second one. Yeah. Final Fantasy Adventure is the first one.
Well, shoot my mouth.
In my opinion, the best one. I loved it. You know what? They remade it on the Game Boy Advance. It was called Sword of Mana, and I didn't really dig that one that much because it played like Secret of Mana. You know, I don't really like the gameplay in Secret of Mana, but the first one plays a lot more like Zelda, and it was a Zelda game, a Zelda type of game on the Game Boy long before Link's Awakening was around. So
if you wanted your Zelda on the go, this might have been a good.
Absolutely, and you know what? I mean, I played the hell out of it. And a matter of fact, in the VMX show, I don't know if you heard the latest episode yet, but somebody asked me like what my favorite Game Boy games were, and that was one of the first titles I rattled off.
Oh.
So definitely an amazing game. I definitely plan on doing an LP of it sometime in the future.
Excellent. My brain was kind of floating around with that question. Like, is he going to play it?
Yeah, the only major flaw in that game is there was one puzzle that is like impossible.
Actually impossible?
Well, okay. I think it might have been a translation problem because what happens is there's this part where you get to this desert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's only about 6 or so screens that you can move around in, right?
Okay.
And the pass to the north to get out of the desert is blocked off by like a poison gas or something. And so you go to this town, and there's this one guy who tells... Well, there's like a whole bunch of people that tell you shit. And basically, you have to rescue this guy who... He could play a harp, and that'll get rid of the gas.
Okay.
You know? But he got captured by like some Medusa or something. So you gotta like find this Medusa's lair, but it's hidden. You know? And there's this one guy who tells you that he'll tell you how to get into it if you bring him like this item that enemies drop, right?
Okay.
So maybe you already have it, or you go out and you kill these dinosaur guys until they drop it, and then you give it to him, and he tells you the most obtuse fucking clue ever. He says, "Here's your hint: palm trees and 8." And I'm like, okay, thanks, asshole.
Thanks, bro.
So I'm doing everything I can think of. Like, okay, are there 8 palm trees? No, they're not. You know, like that kind of. And the thing is, there's 3 different oases. So not only do you not know which one you're supposed to go to, but you don't know what to do.
Maybe 8 steps away from a palm tree?
Tried that. I tried hitting him with my sword 8 times. I tried everything you can think of. Eventually, we called Squaresoft.
Oh, wow.
And we asked them what the fuck to do, right? And the guy who answered, the customer service person, said that he got like thousands of calls about this one thing.
Oh, so at least they had a prepared answer.
Yeah. It was the most obtuse thing you can think of. There was this one that there was 2 palm trees together, and you had to walk around them in a figure 8 pattern.
Oh my god.
Something that no one would... Like, if he said palm trees in figure 8, or maybe like palm trees in infinity or something, I might have thought of it, but, I mean, forget it. Nobody would ever think... And I think maybe it was a translation thing. Like, maybe the clue was not meant to be so obtuse.
Like, maybe it actually was figure 8, but they figure, well... An
Exactly.
8 is a figure.
I think Sunsoft might have had something to do with that. I think they localized it.
Ooh.
Or maybe they just published it. I don't know. Number 9, Super Smash Brothers. And that is true.
I do like the original. I owned the original.
I wasn't crazy about it. I thought Melee was where it's at, and then Brawl was even better. But the first one, I don't own it. I borrowed it from someone. I basically beat it with every character and did everything there is to do. And I
Same
said,
here.
You know what? There's not reason for me to get it. You know what I mean? It didn't have like a strong single player, so it's like, you know, I'll just play it when I'm at their house. You know.
Oh, I'd always play against my brother and you know, beat him easily. Because he wouldn't play the game, so I'd be like,
Melee was so much better. Number 8, Super Mario Brothers 2.
That overshadows the first one. Everybody talks about the first one.
No, he's saying that it's overshadowed by 3.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, because I think that Super Mario Brothers 3 is such a different experience. It's a little controversial. I don't think it gets overshadowed. I mean, 3 was an amazing game.
Yeah, but
I
so
don't
was
think
2.
that 2 was talked about, 2 was played. I don't think that it's really overshadowed.
Yeah, because, I mean, I remember before number 3, 2 was where it's at. Everybody played 2. Who's your favorite character? Do you know where all the warps are? You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Number 7 on the list is Eco for PlayStation 2. Now, is Eco really overshadowed by Shadow of the Colossus? Because it seems nobody ever mentions one without talking about the other.
See, that's when I hear Eco, I think Shadow of the Colossus, and when I hear Shadow of the Colossus, I think Eco.
Yeah, I don't think either of them is overshadowing the other.
And I really want that double pack that they're releasing.
That's coming out.
Yes, because I've never played either, and everyone says you've got to try them. So
here's another one I don't agree with: is Final Fantasy.
Overshadowed by number 2.
I guess he's saying overshadowed by, I don't know, the rest of the series. But
I don't know. Everybody likes to reminisce about the first one.
Especially since we didn't get another one until 4.
Yeah. It did. Does he think maybe that was what it was overshadowed by?
I don't know,
the
man.
real number 4?
I'm pretty sure that Final Fantasy 1 sold more than 4.
Really?
Oh, definitely.
And 4 was the one that was most remade.
Well, no, 1 is the one that's most remade.
Oh, really?
Because you got it. Okay, you had it. It was on the MSX. It was on the WonderSwan. It was on the PlayStation. It was on the Game Boy Advance. It's on Apple phones.
Oh.
And it was on the PlayStation Portable, and it's on the Virtual Console. You know, I mean, there's so many versions of it.
Oh, I was just thinking like Advance and the DS version.
Yeah, well, four is probably like the second most remade.
PSP.
Yeah. Number 5 is Resident Evil 3. Now, I think he's sorting astray here from the whole concept, because Resident Evil 3 may be sort of the runt of the litter and the one that people talk about the least, but it's not really a game overshadowed by its sequels. It's a game that's just sort of the black sheep of the series.
Yeah, but that you know, that's like saying, Zelda 2 overshadowed by
it's like
to
saying
the Past.
It's like if you put Final Fantasy 8 on here.
Yeah, being overshadowed by 9.
Yeah, exactly. Or overshadowed by 7. You know, I don't think that Resident Evil fits on here. Resident Evil 3.
And
I don't think any of the Resident Evils would fit on here.
And I was under the impression that these were going to be like the original game, overshadowed by its first sequel.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Like, if he put Sweet Home on here, and said that was overshadowed by Resident Evil,
that makes sense.
Then I would agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because Sweet Home is sort of like the first game in the series.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Mega Man. So at least he got that. At least he got that.
It's a good one. It's got some problems, but they were ironing them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great game, but Mega Man 2 is definitely a better game.
But don't forget about
Mega Man. Kiddos, 3 was better than 2. And then 4 was better than 3.
They released a third and fourth one?
Yeah, I know, right? They released 10 of them.
Yeah.
Number 3. Sorry, some people consider like Mega Man is like a trilogy. It's just 2, 9, and 10.
Oh.
I don't understand these people. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's wrong with them. Number 3 is, and this is a good example of something that belongs on this list, is Conker's Pocket Tales on Game Boy Color.
I forgot about Conker's Pocket Tales.
Well, that's exactly it. A game that like nobody played, and it was and then they were working on the sequel, this fucking game called 12 Tales Conker 64 that was just going to basically be the same thing.
Yeah, the cutesy little thing.
Yeah, nobody liked Conker's Pocket Tales. Let's do something different, and boy, did it work for them.
Oh. They went the other way completely.
Exactly. Number 2, and this is another one that I think belongs on the list. As a matter of fact, it's a twofer. He's including 2 games here. Is Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 2.
I can see that.
Oh, I can definitely see that. Do you know how many people think the series literally starts with 3?
Why? It's the third one.
I know, it's got a number 3 right in it, but, well, it's like that guy that Joey talked to that thought Final Fantasy 7 was the first game in that series.
Oh my god, these people need to be sterilized.
Definitely. And number 1, and this is actually, I should have thought of this first. This is the epitome of it, is Street Fighter.
Oh.
If there was ever a game
that was overshadowed.
Yeah.
By its sequel, which had dozens of its own sequels.
Yes. He's got a couple of honorable mentions that I'll mention real quick. Sonic the Hedgehog, certainly. That, yeah. Mother.
Oh, yeah.
Metroid 2. I don't know about that. It's that kind of like the same thing as saying, Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not on the list, so I can't complain too much. Here, Final Fantasy V. That's another one. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Phantasy Star. I think it's more because there wasn't enough copies to go around.
Really? They didn't mass produce?
Not really. As a matter of fact, the Genesis version is really rare.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like it's kind of common for Master System, but the Genesis version is like really rare. He puts the first 3 Call of Duty games, and yeah, they are overshadowed by the Modern Warfare ones.
Yeah, people just kind of swept them under the rug since Modern Warfare.
I was just playing Call of Duty 1 just earlier. And Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Oh, I don't know about that.
Which one came after that one?
Symphony of the Night.
Oh, well.
Rondo of the Blood never came out in America, though. Okay, so you know what, though? I think he should have took Sonic the Hedgehog or Mother and put it on the list instead of some of the things that didn't belong there.
Yeah, because I like Sonic 1 more than Sonic 2.
But I gotta agree, I mean, his top 4 are solid. Mega Man, Conquer, Grand Theft Auto, and Street Fighter.
They all make sense.
And he's got a couple other good ones on there, like Super Smash Brothers and Final Fantasy Adventure. It's a good list, it's not a great list. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
I don't know. I kind of liked it a little more. I'm going to give it an 8. I thought it was a great list.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So let me get my thing here ready. Let's move on to the next one. That was a good list. I didn't think it could have been better,
But
especially since he had honorable mentions that some of them made more sense.
Yeah.
I think you're going to like this one. This is an interesting idea for a list. I try to pick more unique ones.
I do like the strange, obscure ones.
Yeah, yeah. Top 10 games that can ruin friendships.
Oh, dear. World of Warcraft!
Oh, God, that's got to be on here. It's got to be on here. Number 10, Wii Sports.
Yeah, people could get into fights.
Oh, all the time. Hey, you hit me with the Wiimote.
You pushed
shit at my TV. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that totally. Yeah, definitely. Number 9 is Pokemon Stadium.
I guess for people who are really into Pokemon, like maybe they'd be worried of losing their Pokemon. Oh, come on, you're my friend. Just give that Pokemon back to me. No, I want it fair and square.
You know what? What I'm reading is what he's saying is that the game itself is unfair.
Oh.
And that if you're playing the multiplayer, it's very easy to exploit.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
Yeah. Number 8 is Battletoads in Battle Maniacs for the Super NES.
Because you can beat each other up?
Because you can damage the other person, which really applies to all the Battletoads games.
Yeah, even the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Number 7, World of Warcraft.
There you go. That can take lives, supposed to ruining friendships.
That's very true. Number 6 is FIFA Soccer 11 for Xbox 360. I don't know why that particular one.
If you're into soccer, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm trying to read this to try and find out why this particular one is a friendship killer. I don't know. I just think it reads like the guy's not very good at it and his friends are better than him and he's pissed off about it.
Butthurt.
Yeah, exactly. Number 5, Mario Kart Wii for the Wii. I don't know. Like Mario Kart is so fun. Like on any Mario Kart game, I don't think.
Yeah, that's like arguments really. if ever you lose, like the matches go by so fast that
like if you put like Mario Party there, that would make sense because it's like you stole my star, you asshole. That kind of
or new Super Mario Brothers Wii. I hope that's on the list.
That Penny Arcade called that the divorce edition of Mario. I like new Super Mario Brothers Wii, but if you're playing with 4 people,
it's so crowded.
Yeah. Number 4 is Left 4 Dead. I don't have the game. You know what though? Joey plays this all the time with people, and he never has a hard time with that.
Oh my god! One of my friends from Brantford, he I would watch him play because my vision wasn't good enough to play, and he would be playing with online people. He would get so pissed off because he's trying to do like
but that is he playing with random people or is he playing with his friends?
He's playing with random people.
Well, that's the problem. See, that if you're playing with friends, I don't think Left 4 Dead is. See, just reading this, it sounds like this guy's friends are assholes.
Oh.
Because like he'll need health and they'll take the health when they don't really need it, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's your friends busting your balls, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, Super Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii. I don't know. That's a really fun one. I mean, maybe he's bad at it. It's one of those things.
I don't know. Again, like you could just have a quick match and then forget about it because you want to start another one.
Exactly. I don't think it's gonna have any lasting arguments.
No.
Number 2. Mario Party 3 on the Nintendo 64. I was just mentioning any of the Mario Party games. I don't know why.
Why number 3?
He picks this particular one out of all 8 Mario. Well, 9 counting the DS one.
Maybe he himself has.
Maybe this is the only
another
one
one.
Played, or
Yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah.
In general. And number 1, I definitely don't agree with. I don't know what he's getting at with this. Number 1 is Rock Band.
Rock Band, you're supposed to work together in that game.
Rock Band's not really competitive.
No, like I said, you all have to. Maybe that's the thing is, somebody.
Oh, I see what he's saying. No, I see what he's saying. It's like the arguments about who's going to play what.
Oh, for what song or what song they're going to play?
No, like maybe one person's hogging the drums or something. Somebody else wants to play, but they won't get off of it, or everybody wants to play guitar, that kind of thing. You know what? They should play Guitar Hero 5 or 6 then instead, where you could play whatever instruments you want.
Yeah, just everybody play guitar, everybody play bass.
You could have 4 singers, you could have 2 bassists and 2 drummers, whatever, that's what they should. I can see what he's talking about. I don't think it's number 1, though. I think this list had a couple of really weird things on it. Like, it hit all the notes you expected to: Mario Party, World of Warcraft, Wii Sports, and
but
then
FIFA
some things
Soccer?
that I don't. Yeah, FIFA Soccer, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. I don't really see that. Rock Band's kind of iffy. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 5 as well.
It's an average list.
It's right down like it has good stuff, but then there's stuff that doesn't belong.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on to the next one. I think you're gonna like this one. I like this one. This is from Mustard666. It's the top 10 most maddeningly frustrating boss battles of all time.
Ooh, I've had some pretty frustrating boss battles in my day.
Name me one. What would you expect to see on here as a really frustrating boss battle?
The friggin' alien thing at the end of Ninja Gaiden. My God.
The demon, yeah. That's just... Yeah.
Or the other 2 bosses before it, or 3 bosses, or whatever the hell.
Well, it's one boss, but you got to do it like 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? If you can get past level 6-2, I consider you beating the game.
Yeah. Like, you got to the boss, here's the ending, just take the ending.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here we have number 10. Well, you're not going to relate to this one, but I'll explain it. Number 10 is from Final Fantasy Tactics, is Wygraf. And Wygraf, I didn't have a hard time with Wygraf because I kind of knew what I was doing, but the problem with Wygraf is that you can get stuck there. It's a one-on-one battle between you only have Ramza, so you don't have your other guys with you.
Oh, and you could have leveled them up to the high heaven.
The bad thing is if you're stuck in a non-combat role. If you're a white mage, you could be fucked.
Oh.
The good thing about Final Fantasy Tactics is you can change your role before a battle. So maybe you lose and you're okay, I'll change your role. But if you don't have the exact right things, it could be tough. And the thing is, it's after a couple of other fights, so there's no save point.
So it's not like you can change just before the battle.
You can change just before the battle. But the thing is, you can't go back and level up.
Oh, jeez.
So, that's the problem.
No wonder it's frustrating.
The way I beat Wygraf was I had Ramza as a thief. And what I did was I had skill set from Squire, and I kept using this one ability that would make him faster, and then I would just keep running away. So I was basically making him chase me all over the place.
Ah.
And I kept making myself faster until... Actually, no, I'm sorry. I wasn't a thief in this case. I was a monk. I was a monk with Squire abilities. And I was running away from him and making myself faster, and I got to the point where I was getting about 4 turns to his every one, and then I went right behind him and I punched him to death.
You punched him in the back.
Just 4 times in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Because monks are, like, seriously overpowered in Final Fantasy Tactics. Their weakness is they don't have much defense. But if you're fast enough to hit someone and then move away from them, you're not going to get hit.
I guess that's the idea, is just to evade as much as you can.
Absolutely. Number 9, from Mega Man, the Yellow Demon.
Okay, at first, yeah, I can see this, but now that I've...
Well, if you don't know the pause trick, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. How many people do you know that have done it legitimately?
One person.
Really?
I know of one person that's done it. I've watched them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I remember when I was playing Mega Man X5, and X5, it was like the most nostalgic of all the games because it had like so many elements from the old Mega Man games, and the old Mega Man X games. And there was this one level that was like a direct take of like Quick Man stage with the lasers.
Ugh, lasers.
And it's harder because Mega Man X, you stick to the walls.
Yeah, you can't just slide down or fall down.
Yeah. Because if you touch the walls, he starts like sliding and it goes slower. And you get to the end, and I hear that fucking Yellow Demon music, and I was like, "Oh God, no!"
After all I've been through,
and it was the Black Demon, and he was even worse. But it was easier in the sense that you have the energy tanks, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, because in Mega Man 1, you didn't have energy tanks.
No, all you had was one life to live.
Exactly. Number 8, from Contra Shattered Soldier, the Amalgamate. I haven't played Contra Shattered Soldier, but you just played through Contra. You played through Contra on the NES. You can relate to how frustrating that can be.
Oh, yeah, like one hit, you're dead. That's frustrating enough as it is with all that crap on the screen, too.
And imagine on the PlayStation 2 where you can have like 1,000,000 bullets on the screen and you don't have 30 lives.
Oh, my God. That's... Oh.
Exactly. Number 7 is from Bayonetta, the boss is Rodin. I haven't had the pleasure of playing Bayonetta yet. I have it. It's on my backlog.
Yeah, that's another game I'd like to try. I mean, I tried the demo. I really liked it.
It says here that Rodin is an optional boss, so how frustrating can it really be?
Well, for completists,
Yeah, but you don't have to do it. See, a lot of the bosses in here are frustrating because you have to do them.
Yeah, in order to actually beat the game.
Yeah. Number 6, from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, we have Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
There's no surprise.
I could never beat him, ever.
The trick is that for the first half of the first round, you don't stand a chance. You have to avoid everything he does. He's basically not vulnerable at all. And like, if you try to fight him, he will knock the shit out of you.
Yeah, like one punch and you're down. I mean, there's no point trying.
You have to just keep dodging until it reaches like 1:30 of the first. Then he becomes vulnerable. He gets slower. That's the trick to beating him. But it's not easy.
It's just like letting him wear himself out.
Kind of, yeah, like a rope-a-dope, like Muhammad Ali did with George Foreman.
Yeah, just let him get tired. I never really thought of that before.
Yeah. I don't think that's what they were going for. I think that they just wanted because Mike Tyson was all about knocking people out like right away with this onslaught.
The one
and he was like he was like that in real life. Like if you could last a round, then you'd probably beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, point proven later on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a big fan of Mike Tyson. I love the game, but I think he's a schmuck.
Yeah.
Number 5, Castlevania Curse of Darkness Dullahan. Is
that one of the PlayStation 2 ones?
Yeah, well, it was on PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
Okay.
Well, he's talking about this specifically on crazy mode, so... I mean, if you're playing on crazy mode, it's all going to be frustrating. So I don't really agree with that.
That's like putting a game on the hardest difficulty and having trouble with the first boss. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Number 4 from Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, Virgil. Once again, he's specifying it's on Dante Must Die mode.
Well, if you're putting it on a mode called Dante Must Die...
And it's already one of the hardest games out there.
I mean, you're setting yourself up for a fall.
Then you're going to bitch about the final boss being too hard?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
What do you expect?
Yeah. Number 3 from Final Fantasy XII, we have Yazmat.
Yazmat.
Well, I mean, how frustrating can it be? This is one of those unique things. It was almost sort of... Have you played 12?
I actually own 12, but I could never get past the huge town thing because I couldn't see well enough to get anywhere.
Oh, well, now that you can see well, you should play it again.
Well, I can't. Once again, I can't see so well.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was still better, though.
Better, but not good enough.
Oh, okay. Okay, Yazmat is sort of the modern equivalent of Death Gaze.
Okay, just like in a more 3D setting,
where you could get away from him and then come back.
Yeah.
You could go, you could save, you could heal.
Still have the same amount of health. He would still have the same amount of...
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, he had a lot of health. He had 50 life bars, so... I don't think it's frustrating. I just think it's just taking a long time.
I guess the only way to survive around him would be to wear a Yazmat suit.
Oh, that was bad, dude. That was bad. Number 2. I agree with the game, but not the choice. Castlevania on the NES, the Frankenstein creature. Okay, now I will admit, the first time I got to Frankenstein on level 4 of Castlevania as a child, I think I nearly destroyed the controller.
Well, there you go. Frustrating, right?
However, compared to Death...
Oh, with those freaking sickles everywhere?
If you're going to pick one frustrating boss from the game, it has to be Death. Not only because he's impossibly fucking hard, unless you have a triple shot and a boomerang and full health, but because it's not likely that you have full health, because the corridor leading up to him is the hardest part of the fucking game.
Oh, with those, like, Medusas and
the Medusas and the Knights at the same time, yeah.
Oh, God. Getting
frustrated. It only takes 4 hits to kill you, exactly. Yeah. I've beaten it, but it's not easy. Number 1, I fully agree with this one. From Guitar Hero 3, Lou. Fuck you, Lou.
Lou?
Fuck you. Lou is the... Yeah,
Lou, Lucifer. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the devil went down to Georgia.
I'll
be honest. I play on hard. I've never done it. Not on hard. I did it on medium. I can't do it on hard.
Same here, actually.
To this day.
I would get as far as hard, and then...
To this day.
Can't beat Lucifer.
I've gotten 40 stars on every song in Guitar Hero 6 on hard, but I can't beat Lou. He's impossible.
Yeah, because it takes away the element of skill. Like, it's more just luck. You know, depending on the power up you get, when he uses his...
exactly.
You.
And not to mention... The song's hard.
Yeah, the song itself is a friggin' beast.
So, yeah. I definitely agree with that. There were a few things on here I don't agree with. But overall, I mean, Yellow Demon, Wygruff, Lou.
It's
couple of the games I haven't played. Couple of the games I haven't played, but I can see them being there. Mike Tyson definitely belongs on there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8.
I was thinking 7.
I'm being a little more kind.
Average.
I don't agree with. No, that's not average. That's good. 5 is average, man.
I guess.
I mean, I don't. Like Frankenstein, I agree with the game, but not necessarily that boss. Yazmat, I don't agree with. But I'm gonna give it an 8. You give it a 7. That all right. So
yeah, fair enough.
I'm being a little more kind than I should be.
Oh, he's being kind, folks.
I'm being the Paula Abdul of the group today.
You did a good job, but I mean, you can't try other things.
Okay, so now this next list goes in the completely opposite direction. These are top 10 things that make their game way too easy.
I like this.
So basically, he's talking about game breakers.
Like
something that
the buzzsaw from Mega Man 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mega Man, I wouldn't say it's a game breaker, but there are some things like more like the alchemy skill in Morrowind.
Okay.
Where you could stack potions until you were Superman, you know what I mean?
Superman. All right. Let's see what they got.
So number 10, Spider Queen farming from Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Yeah, I mean, you could just grind like crazy there.
So what would you gain? What would you gain from
the Spider Queen was a very easy boss that you could kill in a very cheap way that you would level up like crazy.
Really?
Yeah. So I could see that. So you could make yourself like really powerful early on in Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
I don't think I played that. I played Gauntlet Legends.
Dark Legacy was very much, the natural successor to Legends.
All right, so probably pretty good.
I mean, yeah, same basic game, little better graphics,
Cool.
Number 9 from Super Mario RPG, the Geno Whirl. I don't agree with this.
Which one was the whirl again?
The Geno Whirl was the one that like shot really fast. It didn't do a lot of damage, but if you did the timing thing just right, it would do like 9999.
Oh yeah, but you had to be dead on with it.
Well, even if you get good at it, the thing is it doesn't work on bosses. So, at that point in the game, you could have used a better party and just killed all the enemies regularly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, why would you waste your time with Geno?
Yeah, he's not a good character. He has that one gimmick that doesn't work on bosses, so,
And who knows, it might have been a glitch or something, or what was that?
No,
was it intentional?
It was intentional, yeah.
Oh, okay. What was
Number 8 from Mega Man 10, playing as Bass. I haven't played as Bass in Mega Man 10, so I can't comment on that.
Played as Bass in Mega Man 10, and to be honest, it makes it actually quite fun. And it isn't...
Is it really easy playing as him, or...?
It's easier, but it's not, like, completely...
I mean, I don't know how he plays. Like in Mega Man and Bass, does he play like that, or...?
Yeah, like you can shoot 8 directions and you can sort of slide, but like not like slide underneath anything.
He dashes, right?
Or dash, yeah, that's...
Yeah. And does he have the double jump?
Yes.
So yeah, I could imagine that would make Mega Man 10 a lot easier. And Mega Man 10's not really that hard to begin.
It's not too hard after you're like...
Bosses are hard.
Yeah, a couple run-throughs.
The bosses are hard. Mm-hmm. It's the opposite of Mega Man 9, where the bosses were really easy, but the stages were hard.
Well, yeah, like on the hardest difficult, or on hard, like Blade Man, he can be rough.
Okay, number 7, and this I don't agree with this one either. I think this falls into the same category as Geno. Number 7 from Final Fantasy VI, playing as Edgar. Yeah, Edgar's awesome, but he doesn't make the game too easy.
He doesn't completely it's just because he has a lot of attacks that can hit all the monsters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love the drill and the chainsaw. Those are my two favorites.
Oh, I love using chainsaw.
But the thing is, like, as far as overpowered characters, is he the most powerful character in 6? I don't think so.
I wouldn't say so. No.
I think Shadow is more overpowered than him.
Yeah, just throw anything at anybody.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on. Number 6 from Command & Conquer Red Alert, the Soviet heavy tank.
Never played the Command & Conquer. Never been into that. So
I've played a little bit of them.
So what about the heavy tanks?
Tanks are, well, it's if you spam them, it's hard to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it makes it too easy.
Oh, well, thanks for the information.
God damn it. Number 5, the spread gun from Contra. Now, okay.
I can see this.
No, I can't, because let's refer to your playthrough where you get the spread gun and die 2 seconds after getting it.
Actually, one time, the moment I got the spread gun, I died.
I saw it. By the way, you kept avoiding those R's. I noticed.
I didn't. Well, I think one is I would just play I wouldn't be able to see them, and another one is what do they do?
The R's make your shots go faster.
Oh man, that would have been helpful.
And if you get a spread gun and an R, it's very, very good. But it still doesn't make it too easy.
No, I mean, if you can avoid things, sure, you might kill things faster. I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. From Halo, the pistol.
The what?
Yeah,
Like
the
pew
pistol.
pew.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's better than pistols in most first-person shooters. But are you serious? Like, if you're gonna pick any Halo weapon, why not go with Halo 2 and pick that fucking claw thing that everybody uses like crazy?
I've never played the Halo series. I know
Yeah.
what's wrong with me, but
Oh, well, it's not that good. Number 3, the small chainsaws from Dead Rising. I don't know that it makes it too easy. I think it makes it a lot of fun.
I could see the fun behind that. Just
Yeah,
running
because I
around.
mean, you know, yeah, I mean, but that's the whole point of Dead Rising is killing a lot of zombies.
Yeah, it's not so much in efficiency. It's more fun.
Yeah. Number 2 from Tekken 6, play as Eddie Gordo. You know what I would say? In Tekken, anyone hit all the buttons on the controller at the same time.
I watched. I think I one time watched my brother play Tekken in the arcade when he was just like when he and I were kids, and he
Yeah.
got through like the first couple rounds just going mash 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 on the sticks.
I've beaten Tekken 5 doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
All you hear is click 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 click. Click,
I was
click.
wiggling the stick and hitting all the buttons, and I got through all the fights. I think I lost to the end boss like once, and then I continued and I killed him. Stupid fucking game.
Yeah, well.
The only reason that I was playing it is because there was a really cute girl that wanted me to play it with her.
Anything for the ladies.
Yeah, well, I was young and stupid. And finally, we have number 1, Axel's Grand Upper Attack from Streets of Rage 2. Well,
It's effective.
it's effective, but I don't know that it makes it too easy. You know what? I think that he has one good thing on this list, and that's the Spider Queen thing.
And I'm not really all
I mean,
that familiar.
I could have made a list of 10, game breaking things, and it would have had none of this shit on here.
Like your alchemy from Morrowind.
Alchemy from Morrowind that's a huge one. You know what I mean? That's huge.
Like with no mods or anything.
Or how
it'd still
about for?
be...
Oh yeah, easily. Or how about for Dragon Age, the Arcane Warrior? I mean, if you play I've seen people kill the last boss with a single character as an Arcane Warrior on insane difficulty.
Just boop, dead.
Well, it takes a little longer than boop, but the fact
Oh.
that it's possible without any backup is on that mode, that's a game breaker.
People are just like, there's only an arcane warrior out there, and everyone else is like, he's got this.
Well, the thing about the Arcane Warrior is your magic stats count towards your strength.
Okay. Oh,
So you could weld swords and axes that normally mages would have, because a mage, obviously you're not leveling their strength, you're leveling their magic and
yeah.
will. But if you level their magic, your magic counts as your strength as an Arcane Warrior, so you could wear the best armor and use the best weapons with
Wow.
no penalties.
I wonder if they changed that for Dragon Age 2.
Oh, they definitely nerfed it.
Oh.
They definitely nerfed it, yeah. Big time. Big
Oh,
time.
well.
Because it was a game breaker. Okay, moving on. We got, was it 2 more lists? Yeah, we got 3 more lists.
Oh,
Okay.
jumping. Criminy.
Okay, wait a minute. This one's, I think I screwed up. Let me just try that again. Oh, hell and damnation.
Mulligan.
Yeah, dude, that's a gimme. Alright, here we go. Now, this is back to tough bosses again, except this is a very specific list.
Okay.
This is the top 10 hardest bonus bosses in RPGs.
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
any RPG usually has the super boss.
Secret boss, unnecessary boss.
Yeah, exactly. Who's usually harder than the last boss,
Yeah.
and you usually do it after beating the game.
Like Culex. from
Culex is a good example.
Mario RPG. Yeah.
Although I've schooled the shit out of Culex.
Oh yeah, me too. Eventually, but at first, it can pose a problem.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 10 from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the Galamoth.
Galamoth.
Now there are tricks to killing the Galamoth very quickly. But fighting this thing legitimately is a nightmare.
I take it you have beaten him completely legitimately before?
Oh yeah, well you saw it in my playthrough.
The playthrough, yeah.
The only thing I did is that I equipped an item that let me absorb lightning damage because he has a lot of lightning attacks.
It only makes sense to wear that then, yeah.
But you still have to avoid the attacks that look like lightning but are actually dark alignment.
Yeah, they're like just...
You gotta be careful for that, you know. Number 9, from The Legend of Dragoon, the Magician Faust. I haven't really played this one, so I can't comment.
I've played the game, but never found Faust. Faust.
Portuguese Fausto.
Man.
Ay, ay, ay. It's from The Simpsons.
Okay.
Ay, ay, ay. Number 8, from Chrono Cross, Darius.
Got any twins?
What?
Anyway,
you're even worse with the puns than you normally are.
Anyway,
Darius, once again, there's cheap ways to, well, not really a cheap way, but there's a trick to make him not attack you.
At all?
Yeah. You have to only use elements of red, blue, green, or yellow. If you use white or black, he's going to start kicking your ass.
So just use the Skittles colors.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, even if you use a white or a black element once, he starts raping you. No matter what. So you have to fill up your grids with all other colors. And he gets his turn, but he only uses status ailments on you.
And if you have something you can counteract status ailments with.
You don't even have to worry about it, because by that point in the game, you should have equipment that stops the status ailments from hurting you.
Negates completely? Wow.
Yeah, like in Final Fantasy, you have the ribbons.
Yeah.
But fighting Darius legitimately, oh shit. Forget about it, man. Not easy.
Forget about it.
It is the only way to get the best weapon in the game, but it's...
So
yeah,
I assume you went for it then.
Of course. From number 7 is from Shadow Hearts, the Seraphic Radiance. I've never played Shadow Hearts.
What kind of game is it?
On that. It's an RPG.
Oh,
These are all RPGs.
Oh, right.
So I'm just going to move on then. Number 6 from Dragon Age Origins, Circathrian. Now, you haven't played Dragon Age, I know that.
But you have.
And I've beaten Circathrian.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the trick here is that I don't know if it specifically belongs on the list.
No?
Because Circathrian's not exactly an optional boss, but rather it's one of those battles that you're supposed to lose.
Oh, but you can win it?
It's possible, yeah.
Ooh.
Basically, it's you got to rescue the queen at this one part, and as you're coming out, you're confronted by Circathrian and her, like, 20 archers, you know?
Whoa.
And all these archers, you know, you're like, oh, okay, I've dealt with archers before, that kind of thing, you know? And they all have scattershot, which is like a ridiculous thing. Like, you know, getting hit by scattershot 20 times will kill you in 2 seconds flat.
Good heavens.
And then there's like 2 mages in the back, and it's a ridiculously unfair thing. And the thing is, you're supposed to surrender to them or get killed by them. And if if they beat you, you wind up in prison, and you do this other quest where you have to escape from prison. And I thought you weren't supposed to be able to beat her, but I realized because you fight her later.
Okay.
One-on-one. Well, not one-on-one, but your party battles her later, right before the lands meet. And that's the real battle against Circathrian. But the first one you're supposed to lose. But what I do is since I play a rogue archer, I just let my guys just get killed right away, because there's nothing you can do about that. And then I backtrack through the level into a hallway where they can't really follow me, and I just pick them off one by one.
So just bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah. You
pick away
basically
at them.
You play camper, you know. And the thing is, what's cool is if you want to maximize your experience points, what you do is you beat the hell out of them, and then what you do is you turn it to a high difficulty where there's friendly fire.
Okay.
And you blow yourself up with spells. And the game will see you as having lost the battle, and you'll wind up in prison. So you get all the extra experience from beating them, but then you still get to do the prison escape.
Clever.
Number 5. Yasmat from Final Fantasy XII.
Oh.
Okay. No, all right, he has 50 million hit points. I get it. But is he really hard? I think it's just time consuming.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a nuisance, because if you really want to have no problems fighting it, you just got to go there, take your licks, come back, go there again.
Exactly. Number 4 from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne on the PlayStation 2, Beelzebub. I haven't played Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
I imagine fighting the Dark Lord would be a little bit tough, though.
The Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
He was easy in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Number 3 from Final Fantasy X, we have the Monster Arena bosses. Yeah, they're supposed to be hard.
I mean, you get good stuff from them eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to be unfair. So
it's completely optional.
From number 2, from Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3, Elizabeth. I haven't played Persona 3. I've wanted to get into this series, but I haven't played it.
Is that the one where they fall into their TVs or something weird like that?
I don't know. It's an Atlas game. It's probably good. And number 1's also from an SMT game.
Okay.
From Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga on PlayStation 2 is the Demi Fiend. It sounds hard.
Demi Fiend.
He's not a fiend or an archfiend. He's a Demi Fiend.
He's only half a fiend.
Yeah, but the other half is probably something awful.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. I there's so many games in here I haven't played that I can't really give it a fair rating. So I'm just going to give it a 7 and move on.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 too. I mean, I can't really judge it fairly.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Sir Catherine belongs in there because you're supposed to lose to her. But I can see, the Galamoth and Darius.
I guess it's optional to win is the way he's looking at it, maybe.
I suppose so. Well, listen to me. I'm not. Okay, next list.
All tongue-tied today.
The top 10 real people who changed the video game industry.
Hey, I like this. We're doing something a little different.
People who were very influential on the games industry. Number 10, we have 2 people here, Vin Zampella and Jason West. They created the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series, which kind of brought first-person shooters into the forefront.
Again,
yeah, like Halo is sort of getting old for a lot of people, so... Yeah, but it's number 10, so,
Yeah, Modern Warfare made it a little more accessible. It isn't all just, aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
And World War II.
I like the World War II stuff, so...
Yeah.
Number 9, Hideo Kojima.
Oh,
from
with
Konami.
Metal Gear.
He created Metal Gear. He's done a lot of other games. He definitely did change gaming in a lot of ways. He sees it as being a very cinematic thing, and that's been a big influence on modern games.
Well, cinematic, like if you play Metal Gear Solid 4, that's all the game friggin' is.
Well, I mean, even back in the day, he was doing that with games like Snatcher,
On Sega CD.
Yeah. Number 8 is Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil, which basically revived adventure games and created the survival horror genre. Well, it didn't create it, but it legitimized it.
There
were, yeah, exactly. I mean, Alone in the Dark was around before that, of course, but
yeah,
yes, people, what's the first survival horror game you played? Most people are going to say Resident Evil.
Yeah, I know it was the first one I ever played.
Yeah, exactly. Number 7, Hironobu Sakaguchi, creator of Final Fantasy.
And was that the only one he created, or how long was he on the team for?
He's still on the team.
Still, Square Enix.
Yeah, he still works on Final Fantasy.
Well, golly, he's not letting it go.
He's the director of the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping 15 is better than 14.
14 and 11. I was reading about Dragon Quest X again, and
Yeah.
apparently you can play it offline, but
Aha.
I'm just still not sold on it. Let's see. Number 6, we have two people here, Akira Nishitami and Akira Yasuda. Two guys named Akira who created a series called Street Fighter.
Ooh, wow. So
Definitely changed things.
cash cow for Capcom.
Yes, that is, yeah, big time, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, two guys named John Romero and John Carmack.
Okay.
They worked on these games you might have heard of called Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake.
Oh, so they they were like at the forefront of revolutionizing first-person gaming.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Mm.
John Romero unfortunately left id Software and went on to make games like Daikatana. Yeah. Well, John Carmack made Quake 4 and Doom 3 and Rage. You know, we know who the brains are.
Yeah. Sorry, Daikatana. Thanks for playing.
Yeah. Or thanks for not.
Thanks for not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, Ken Kutaragi. Do you know who he is?
No.
He is a Sony employee who created the PlayStation.
Oh my God! And that that was pretty much gaming for like the last 15 years or whatever.
Yeah.
The name
Number 3, definitely. Number 3, Hideki Sato. He created Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, I'd like to thank him for that then.
Yeah.
Well, the original Sonics. Anyway.
Yeah. He also helped actually build the Genesis. So.
Oh wow! Really?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Number 2, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh yeah.
You lose count of what he's done. Mario, Zelda, Pikmin. I mean, so many different games.
Mm-hmm. But yet
Smash
there's one.
Bros. Yeah,
there's
I
one
mean,
more even after him.
Number 1 is Nolan Bushnell.
That sounds very familiar.
He invented Pong.
Pong. Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
I gotta say though, there's one name on that's it's inexcusable to not put him on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be Ralph Baer.
Ralph Baer.
He invented video games.
Oh.
He created the Magnavox Odyssey.
The first is that the first take-home console?
Video game. It is the very first video game console. He came up with the idea in the 60s.
Wow.
He had a hard time selling it, and eventually he got it out in 1971.
So took that long.
Yeah.
But I guess this person maybe they didn't know.
Well, maybe. But you know who Nolan Bushnell is? I mean,
Yeah.
I personally would have bumped number 10 off.
Mm-hmm.
And just inserted Ralph Baer as number 1.
Maybe I can see the point behind that. Ralph Baer, you know, he's like the front runner of he's the idea, the spark of video games.
Yeah, exactly. He created the home console. I mean,
technological gaming.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, Nolan Bushnell, he worked for Atari, and they passed on the Odyssey, so...
Yeah, but they eventually had their own success.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they could have gotten in that much earlier. But okay, what do you think?
I don't know. There's a lot of pretty important names on there, so I think I might give this a 7 as well, actually. Slightly above average.
As well? I didn't say what I'm giving it.
No, but I gave the last one 7.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry.
Well, I was impressed by the list until I saw Ralph Baer wasn't on there.
Aha.
That's unforgivable.
0 out of 10.
No, 0 out of 10. If it would have been on there, it would have been a 10.
Ooh, wow.
As it is, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I'm knocking off 3 points.
Wow, you hear that? Now he's harsh. He's NecroVMX harsh.
Like I said, that's not forgivable. Last list for the day.
Okay.
These are the top 10 games released near or at the end of a system's lifespan. And the game consoles are winding down. That's when you see some truly amazing games come out for those consoles.
Because they're using the console at it, to its peak performance.
Exactly. Most consoles do go out with a bang. Good ones, anyway. So let's talk about that. Anything you expect to see on here?
Let me think. No.
Okay. Number 10. Representing the NES, we have Wario's Woods. The very last officially released NES game.
Oh, yeah, but this is like top 10, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I played Wario's Woods, and I wasn't all that thrilled with it.
Well, you're a dork. Wario's Woods is amazing.
I didn't really like that puzzle game.
It's... you bear.
It is.
Is it? It saves.
Yes.
That's how much sense you're making to me.
Okay, I don't like Wario's Woods. Big deal.
Fail. Fail.
But to be fair, I mean, you look at the NES and the graphics at least were pretty.
It was a great game.
Fair enough. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Number 9, also on the NES, we have Kirby's Adventure.
There was a good game.
It was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great game. Can't wait to play the new Kirby that's coming out.
The Wii Kirby?
Yeah, it's actually called Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Oh.
So that should be interesting.
Because I know there's a new DS one on its way out or something like that, like
that actually
Mass Attack.
just came out. Mass Attack. It just came out.
Mm-hmm. But Kirby's Adventure, yeah, very good.
Yeah. Number 8, representing the PlayStation, Silent Hill.
Released near the Silent Hill 2 was on PlayStation 2, of course.
No, PlayStation 1.
Silent Hill 2 was on PlayStation.
No, Silent Hill 1.
Yeah, I was just trying to think.
I don't think that this is close enough to the end.
No, you don't think?
The PlayStation 1 still had another 3 or 4 years to go.
I guess while the PlayStation 2 was around.
Why not put Final Fantasy 9 on here instead?
Yeah, good point.
It came out the same freaking day that the PlayStation 2 came out. Well, not the same day, but very close to it.
In 2000?
Yeah. Number 6. No, I'm sorry, number 7. Number 7. It's for the Super NES. Kirby's Dream Land 3. Not only is Kirby's Dream Land 3 a great game, but it's a game that got overlooked because it was near the end of the console.
And everybody was looking towards the 64?
Yeah, I mean, it came out in 1996. Everybody was playing Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
And you hear about it. Like, what's the Kirby game on Super NES that everybody talks about?
Kirby's Avalanche.
No. Dork. Superstar.
Yeah, Superstar.
Superstar's a great game. Kirby's Dream Land 3 is a little better, though.
I didn't play it when it was initially released, but later on, like through emulators, I played it, and it was quite enjoyable. I'm sad that I missed out on it.
Yeah, it's a great game. Number 6, if people out there who've played Kirby 64, it was very much like Dreamland 3.
I did like 64 as well.
64 was very similar. Number 6, representing the GameCube, we have A Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, this is the prime example, because not only did it come out at the end of the GameCube's life, but it came out on the Wii as well.
Yeah, like the first Zelda released on multiple...
Well, kind of like, like Wario's Woods also came out on Super
Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, Twilight Princess is a great game, though. I have to agree with that.
Oh, it's great.
Number 5, going back to the NES again, for Batman Return of the Joker.
I never played the NES version.
Really? That's the best one.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. It sucks on the Genesis.
Yeah, I played it on the Genesis.
Oh, you got to play it on the NES. Way better. Way better. You can actually get past the gargoyle statues.
Good God.
Number 4. From the Super NES, Super Mario RPG.
Oh, perfect.
That's the first thing I thought of when I thought of this list. Well, that and Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah, that was released in 95, so just on the outskirts.
Yeah. Number 3, representing the 32X, believe it or not, Virtua Fighter. It's technologically interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't like the 32X, and I sure as hell don't like Virtua Fighter.
No, I played Virtua Fighter, and those games suck.
It's even worse than Tekken.
Oh, just I remember playing the original in the arcade, and yeah, I was blown away. Like, wow, look at these graphics. But that was it.
Until you start playing it.
Yeah. Of course, I played as
Number
the
two.
Canadian.
Number two. Representing the Nintendo 64, we have Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I liked it. Fair enough.
It's a good game. It's a good game. Certainly the N64 went out with a bang there.
Oh yeah.
And Rare sort of went out with a bang because after that they took forever to make games.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Banjo Nuts and Bolts or whatever, and
Well, I don't even want to talk about that. I'm talking about like on the GameCube, they were supposed to have like 3 or 4 titles at launch, and they had none.
ugh.
And like Star Fox Adventures came out like years later, and it was good, but it was like a little too late,
It was a wolf in sheep's clothing. It was a different game in the beginning.
Well, yeah, it was
Dinosaur Island.
Dinosaur
Planet.
No, what was it called? Was it Dinosaur Planet?
I think it was.
I think you might be right. Number one, oh, actually, wait. Before I talk about that, for the Nintendo 64, I think that Perfect Dark might have gotten a nod too.
Really?
Yeah, but it didn't, obviously.
Ah.
Number one, representing the Saturn, we have Panzer Dragoon Saga.
I played Panzer Dragoon before.
It's completely different.
We're completely different from Saga.
You played Panzer Dragoon 1 or 2 on Saturn or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that's like a shooter.
Yeah, yeah, like a rail shooter.
Yeah, and then there was Orda on the Xbox. No, Panzer Dragoon Saga is an RPG.
Oh,
and it's a really good game.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it was only ever released for the Saturn, and it is rare.
Ah,
You could expect to pay a couple of $100 for a copy.
good God.
And that's why we have this thing called emulation.
Hey now.
Hey no. So what did you think of this list?
I thought it was okay. I guess
think it was missing a few things.
it's
Chrono Trigger.
It's
Perfect
certainly
Dark.
like to the Nintendo consoles a bit.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, Perfect Dark. Maybe some of the amazing PlayStation 2 games that have come out in the recent years.
Yeah, it also didn't have that much Sega love. Like it had the
That's
Saturn.
true. And
What
yeah,
about-
and the 32X.
Yeah, but
could've
like,
done
but like
without that.
Genesis.
But
You
how
know?
about Dreamcast or
Yeah, even the
Genesis? Yeah. Like, what would you pick as being like the amazing game at the end of the Genesis? Because the Genesis's lifespan was kind of sad at the end. Like, would it be Sonic and Knuckles or?
Well, yeah, like Sonic. Everybody says Sonic 3 and Knuckles, best Genesis game. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe Gunstar Heroes too.
Oh, Gunstar Heroes. That's just blow shit up game. That's great.
It's fun as hell too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. Or Comic Zone was also pretty good, I thought.
It's a bit too hard to really play though. I mean,
All right.
That's it. I mean, one life, no continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was hilarious watching Vigi Games play that, and he's like, "Hey, this is pretty good," and then he dies, and he's like,
What?
"Game over."
That's it?
Yeah. Game over. What are you talking about? What is this shit? I don't know, nigga. French last name. But yeah. Well, that'll be it. Let this list and this episode. Let's give this a rating. What do you think?
10? I don't know. There was a bunch of good ones on there. I wasn't a big fan of Wario's Woods, but
Because you're gay.
oh, you're gay.
No, well, you're the one who didn't like Wario's Woods. Okay.
I'll say
A good puzzle game is like a beautiful woman.
yes. They both have lots of parts.
No, it's if you don't like them, that makes you gay.
Okay, I'll say 8. I'll give it an 8.
8.
A nice 8.
Oh, I gotta give it a 7.
All right, fair enough.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because I felt that there were certain things missing, as I mentioned.
But if it's like a top 10, I mean, it's all a matter of opinion.
Well, yeah, you could have taken Virtua Fighter off of there. And Silent Hill doesn't really. I mean, it's a good game, but it's not near the end of the PlayStation's lifespan. So,
All right, fair enough.
There's two I would have knocked right off. So there you go. And Batman Return of the Joker was technologically an interesting game, you know.
On the NES, I never played that one.
I mean, yeah, well, that was the best version of it, but it still wasn't like an amazing game. You know what I mean? Like it was a good game.
But not a
graphics.
great.
Most of the music is ripped off from Mega Man 2 for some reason.
Oh, now I gotta play the NES version. See what you're talking about with all the hubbub.
Well, just you know what? If you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd play it, and he even points out how like a lot of the songs are taken right from Mega Man. Like seriously.
Okay.
Like they just took one of the songs and sped it up, and that was all they did to it. Like people are not gonna notice. You're like, hey, that sounds like Mega Man 2. What the hell's going on here?
Turns out it is.
Yeah, like Bubble Man's theme is somewhere in there, you know? Alright, that's gonna be it for this list.
Alright, it was. I thought there were some pretty interesting ones.
Yeah, we had some fun today. We had some fun with this episode.
And keep the lists coming in, people.
That's what she said.
Hey.
I had to get a horrible pun in there. You've been doing them all night.
Yeah.
Seriously. But yeah, send us your lists, even if they're ridiculous. Hey, we like the walrus list.
Yeah, that was pretty ingenious.
Have we ever both given perfect scores to a list before?
I don't know, but Roy started one out.
I think it's the first time. Just because, like, I couldn't have come up with a list like that. Even if it's crazy like that. We don't care what the subject is. You know, I mean...
We're gonna read it.
You know, like, I don't care. You could send us your, like, top 10 pizza flavors. I don't care. Just give it to us, you know?
And I'll be like, anchovies, are you mad?
I love anchovies.
And you'd be like, you love anchovies. And we would have a discussion about how right I am.
Oh. So wait a minute. Are you saying they're not delicious? Because when I put them in my mouth, good things happen.
Okay, whatever you say.
Hey, you've never even eaten anchovies.
Tried one once.
It's different on a pizza, dude.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not going to give it the benefit of the doubt of an entire pizza's worth.
Just taking an anchovy and putting it in your mouth is a little bit different, you know? I mean, that's like... there are certain things that you are supposed to be eaten with other things, you know what I mean?
I guess so.
I want someone to send us a top 10 pizzas now.
Top 10
because we already,
pizzas?
Or, you know, like pizza toppings or whatever. I think that would be a good list. I'm going to like request that somebody please make a top 10 best pizza toppings list.
Why don't you make a top 10 pizza toppings list?
Because that I could do that, but
yeah.
I mean, we're the critics. We're not supposed to make lists.
Oh, like you can critique your own list. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, and I'd be like,
I would give it a 10 out of 10 because they're delicious.
It'd be weird if you gave it anything other than 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like I would. It would be demented if you don't rate your own efforts as a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joey just came on and called me a cock jockey. This is not going to stand.
No, because you have to sit on the cock because you're a jockey. You see.
Exactly, and VMX does not sit on cocks.
No, you more straddle them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to call him a poon stumper. He stumps poons.
Call him a chiseler and a swindler.
That's terrible.
Why?
It doesn't even make sense. A chiseler and a swindler?
I don't know.
What the hell is that, man? The hell?
Well.
Anyway, oh yeah, he says I've seen that video. Well, there is a lot of amputee porn out there.
Ugh. I can't find it. I can't find it. It stumps me every time.
Oh, god damn it. You know what? One of these days, there's going to be an angry mob outside your door with pitchforks and torches, and they're going to be screaming at your blood, and you're not going to understand why. So I'm going to tell you right now. That's why. That's why.
I will die laughing.
It'll be like the Simpsons movie. Oh. They all come for you.
Yeah.
All at once. Except there's no sinkhole to save you.
Alright.
Seriously.
Okay, enough silliness.
Send us your amputee porn. I mean, send us your lists.
Serious business here.
Internet. Serious business. All right. We'll see you guys next month.
See you later.
Booyah.